I'm Dr. KVNS Sunil Kumar, working as District Immunization and Surveillance Officer in Kannur District, Andhra Pradesh. Our Kannur District has 20 community health and nutrition clusters, which are manned by deputy DMLHOs, and we have 83 PHCs and 542 subcenters, which are delivering the immunization services in Kannur District. Total, we have around 121 cold chain points in the Kannur district, which are located not only in the PHCs and CHCs, but also in teaching hospitals. We have one government general hospital in the government sector and two private hospitals which are providing the services of immunization in the Kannur district. Immunization program is the largest public health intervention which is having a tangible outcomes and is the only visible activity that is undertaken by the health department periodically and very regularly. Immunization program has been launched in 1974 by WHO as expanded program of immunization, and later on it was launched in India as universal immunization program in 1985, and we have crossed 40 years and we have also crossed various milestones like eradication of poliomyelitis in 2014 from India. In spite of all these efforts and increased coverage of immunization, we are having a lot of in implementation of and delivery of immunization services. Having recognized the importance of quality issues and the challenges that has been faced in delivery of immunization services, we have established a model demonstration center for immunization, which is also going to work as cross-learning site for various frontline workers and medical students, so that we will be able to traverse these quality gaps in delivery of the immunization services for the rural poor and all the community in the nation. We are addressing the quality issues and we have established model demonstration center under the 4 heads. First head is program management, number 2 is the cold chain management, number 3 the reporting and recording system, and number 4 how to organize an immunization session site. Coming to the program management, every institution is supposed to put up a map of the primary health center, which clearly shows what is the distance between the primary health center and the sub-centers and where they are going to give their services and what is their alternate vaccine delivery route system. And apart from this, every PHC will also have a micro action plan which will have estimation of beneficiaries, vaccine and logistics which are to be given for every child within their area of coverage. And also they will have a session plan which will show where and when they are going to conduct their session. A sub-center will also have a map which clearly shows when they are going to conduct their fixed sessions on Wednesdays, when they are going to conduct their outreach sessions on Saturdays, and what is the alternate vaccine delivery mechanism of delivery of the system. This is followed as a part of implementation of the RED tools or RED tools which are being given by WHO as a part of expanded program of immunization. RED means reaching every district through implementation of quality immunization services. As a part of these RED tools, we are supposed to have an area map which is being exhibited here of PHC and CHC, and we also have a session plan which shows when they are going to conduct their sessions, on which day, then what is their work plan, then what is the stock of the position they are going to have, and have their tracking system and a monitoring chart. This monitoring chart is to be exhibited like this, which gives an immediate visual impact of the coverage of various antigens in this particular primary health center. Every sub-center is also supposed to exhibit a monitoring chart like this. To enable easy preparation of the monitoring chart, we are having a software where once all the information is being fed, this map is automatically generated every month, and this will be exhibited
in the PHC and sub-center in the notice board, which clearly shows what is their coverage, what is the dropouts, what is the left outs, and what is the gap in delivery of their services in the coverage. And we are also supposed to promote AFP surveillance system, acute flaccid paralysis system, which is an integral part of immunization activity, which is going to focus on identification of suspected poliomyelitis cases. This is the latest revised broadened definition of AFP surveillance system to enable every frontline worker, Anganwadi workers, ASHA workers and ANMs. We have translated the definition of acute flaccid paralysis into Telugu and is being put up in the local language, which is very essential so that the given community is aware of all these things. Then, as a part of the surveillance community awareness program, we are exhibiting this chart where they are given the information of the DIO and the surveillance medical officer along with their phone numbers, so that they have to inform any suspected case of acute flaccid paralysis, which is a person of any age in whom polio is suspected, or any suspected measles case has to be informed to the DIO on these mobile numbers and the SMO from WHO on these mobile numbers. And this is our AFP surveillance performance, which is put up at the district level every month, cluster wise. We have 20 clusters and we put it up every month. Analysis is being done. And this is the block wise spot mapping of AFP cases that has been done in 2014. And these are the surveillance indicators of AFP surveillance system. This is our performance of immunization of coverage of various antigens in the year 2014, which is being shown here. They should also have a immunization schedule which should be prominently exposed, so that whenever every patient or community comes down into the OP, they will be able to know, and it should be there available in the local language, clearly exhibiting the logo of Government of Andhra Pradesh, NRHM, which is being translated into Telugu as Jatiya Gramina Arogya Mission, and the logo of immunization having mother and children. After program management, they have tried to address the quality issues in vaccine storage, especially addressing the cold chain management. Every cold chain point, we have an ILR which stores vaccines and diluents, and we have a deep freezer which is used for preparation of ice packs. Both of the equipment are integral and they should have a temperature monitoring chart being exhibited like this, because it is mandatory that the temperature record book should be available with the equipment itself. It should not be kept at the lock and key. The ice pack should be stored like this. They should not be just dumped inside. They should be arranged in a brick shaped manner as we build our building blocks, and there should be aeration between an ice pack and an ice pack so that they do not get stick together. And we should have the temperature recording like this, and it should not be exposed to outside environment, because it is an usual practice that the temperature is being recorded by putting the thermometer outside. We should never read the temperature by keeping the thermometer like this, because this is a highly sensitive thermometer which is having alcohol inside, which is very sensitive. So immediately once you put it outside, it will be recording the outside atmospheric temperature rather than the temperature in the equipment. So whenever we record our temperature in the instrument, it should be kept inside only, and it should be read like this morning and evening twice in the day, and they should also record power failure whenever there is power failure like this. Whenever there is a power failure, it should be recorded like this, and it should be regularly inspected by the concerned medical officer. Every equipment is given do's and do nots and what should be done, which is being clearly exhibited here for the information of the medical officers and the pharmacists or the cold chain handlers, whoever are taking care of the thing. Every equipment is also given an information here which shows how they should be maintained and what they should do, what they should not do. Then coming down to the ILR, it stores our vaccines. Here also the thermometer should be kept like this in the middle of the compartment, then always placed within the equipment. And this is how we have to place our vaccines. Hepatitis B being the most sensitive vaccine, free sensitive, it should be kept on the topmost shelf. And measles and polio should be kept at the bottom of the ILR. At the basket level, the lowest thing will be the BCG vaccine. Then followed by TT, DPT and hepatitis B. The diluent should also be kept in the other basket in the LR compartment. They should never be kept outside the each equipment should have separate stabilizers like this, and they should be wall mounted because that will provide a space in between them and it will give opportunity for the employees to clean between the equipment and it gives a neat and tidy appearance. And they should be connected separately with 2 points and they should be plastered like this with a red tape indicating that they should never be switched off. And every instrument should have this emergency response management system which clearly gives an information that they should never unplug it without informing the persons, and whenever there is a power failure or there is some problem regarding the cold chain management or there is a problem regarding the equipment, the information of the person who is responsible for repairing should be exhibited here prominently so that any person who recognizes some fault in the functioning of the system will immediately inform the concerned person who is a refrigerating mechanic who is available at district headquarters. And here in Kurnool, we have Mr. K. Shankaraya and his number is being prominently exhibited here. Every equipment should be placed on wooden block, approximately 10 centimeters in size, which gives an opportunity for proper ventilation from the ground. Also, it also prevents damage. Like some water is there, the bottom of the thing is made of iron and metal, which may be destroyed by rusting and holes will form and the equipment will get spoiled. Also, the equipment should be placed approximately 10 centimeters in size. This is a rough estimate, so that it will also give proper ventilation and it will increase the efficiency and functioning of the equipment. You can clearly see that how these are being aligned here. We have our LR also placed at almost 10 centimeters away from the wall, which gives clear ventilation so that air circulation is there and the system doesn't get damaged. Here also another thing is exhibited. It shows that they should not tamper, they should not indulge in any temperature manipulation without informing the concerned refrigerating mechanic. Apart from this, every cold chain point should exhibit this sort of charts which gives and which also function as a ready reckoner to the cold chain management system. The cold chain handlers will be able to know and read it every day and then get acclimatized with this what is there. You can see here how a person has to read the temperature on the thermometer that is being kept, what should be done, how it should be put up there, like hang it vertically in the center away from the direct contact. All this information is prominently said, and what is the temperature that is acceptable in ILR, what is the temperature that is acceptable in deep freezer, and how it should be read, and what is the care they have to take. And here it is given in front of the deep freezer. They have to exhibit this chart which shows how they have to prepare their ice packs and what is the alignment or what is the positions, how they should store their things, where the vaccines that are being frozen should be stored, where the ice packs which are to be prepared or to be stored is being clearly shown here. Then everything should have a vaccine well monitor, a poster which shows what is vaccine well monitor, which is very essential because whenever they come and take the vaccine, they should be able to know the information whether this is usable or unusable. Whenever this chart is there, all the frontline workers, whenever they are taking vaccine from the ILR, will be able to see the vaccine well monitor and then identify whether they will be able to use the vaccine or not use the vaccine. Then we have this poster where it shows clearly where all the vaccines or the antigens have to be stored. Like I told you earlier, OPV is stored at the bottom, then measles, then we have BCG, then we have TT, DPT, hepatitis B. This is the order which has to be stored because every vaccines, they have their own sensitivity, or whether they are light sensitive or whether they are heat sensitive or cold sensitive. Based on their sensitivity, they have to be stored appropriately to ensure that they have maximum potency and their potency is not affected, so that you are able to give the children a potent vaccine which gives 100% protection. Poster should be there which gives an information, and we have purposefully translated into Telugu because all the frontline workers, and this should be available only in local languages because this is useful for the frontline workers, which gives them information of how they should keep their ice packs, how they should keep their vaccines, and how they should condition their ice packs before loading their vaccines and their ice packs with the vaccine carriers. And this sort of poster should also be there, which gives information about the open wide policy. Then this information of how they should use the hub cutter. This is being purposefully given in local language because the frontline workers are the people who use this hub cutter. This ensures that we give aseptic technique and safe disposal of the immunization waste. Gives an information of how they should hold the baby. When they are giving measles vaccine, this is the position mother has to keep the child, and this is the position mother has to have the baby when DPT is given, and BCG. This gives an information, and this is also purposefully given in the local language so that the mother and the frontline workers will be aware of knowing how they should hold the baby when injections are given. And coming to the third aspect of immunization waste management or the safe disposal, ensuring that we do not do any harm on the immunization waste that is being generated. Kannur is one of the districts in the state which has piloted and initiated the process of providing black and red bags to the frontline workers, and this gives information of how they should segregate their immunization waste that is generated after provision of the services, and what they should do, how they should segregate, what they are not supposed to do. This tells that they are not supposed to burn them, and this tells that they should not throw off their immunization syringes or waste. This gives information about providing safe practices for the community. We should not only ensure that we do it, we should also protect not only the children, we should also protect the community by ensuring that we adopt sterile procedures by not only using the syringes but also throwing away the immunization waste that is being generated. These are the various posters which show the importance of usage of sterile techniques, aseptic techniques, and the method of disposal and how they should be thrown off whenever they. This is the sharp disposal kit that is available in every primary health center, where the sharps that are being generated from the immunization are being put down here. This has its specifications as given by the WHO, where they have 1 to 2 meters wide, and we have a thing with a lock so that they come and open it and put all there. You can see the lock here, and then this should be there about 1 meter height, and this is how they should be lit around, which is clearly depicted diagrammatically here. We provide immunization services at every Wednesday and Saturday. Every Wednesday, immunization services are provided at the sub-center level and at the PSC level and CSC level. Every Saturday, immunization services are provided as outreach services to the villages or habitations or hamlets which are located far away from the sub-centers or PSCs. Immunization services should be integrated with the provision of child services. As a part of provision of child services, AMM should ensure that the following drugs are also available at the immunization site. Cefron pediatric or cotrimoxazole pediatric dispersible tablets, zinc tablets in 2 strengths of 20 mg and 10 mg, ORS packets, paracetamol drops, paracetamol syrup, iron folic acid syrup, salbutamol syrup, amoxicillin syrup, and vitamin A to be given in 9 doses as per the schedule. The frontline worker should also ensure the availability of sample stool collection bottles for AFP surveillance. There should be a black bag and a red bag to dispose of the immunization waste. As shown in this chart, it should be available there. Every PNC should have a double bucket where the immunization shots that are generated after providing the injections are put inside this and soaked in this sodium hypochlorite solution for an half an hour to disinfect the needles that are used for immunization services. If the solution is not readily available, how to prepare a fresh chlorine solution which can be used as a substitute for this is shown here, and this should be prominently exhibited here. This shows how we can prepare a fresh chlorine solution which can be used as a disinfecting solution from the available bleaching powder. Purposefully this is given in the local language because the frontline workers and the paramedical staff will have to prepare a fresh chlorine solution from the bleaching powder that is supplied to the primary health centers. In the primary health center, in a rag like this, after every session, they should be cleaned dry and they should be put up like this with the cap and the soft pad beside it and the name of the sub-center. This gives an opportunity for ensuring that they are not thrown and littered anywhere and everybody will start using their own rags, and this also is an opportunity for ventilation so that this becomes dry when not in use. The first should be made to integrate and provide maternal and child health services. This is height scale that should be available at every immunization site so that they should be able to record the height of the mother, and they should have a weighing scale to record the weight of the mother during every antenatal visit. And we should also try to integrate the IYCM practices and child health practices which gives information about the usage of ORS
and zinc
or cold chain. Every PHC or cold chain management unit or immunization delivery point should have a manual of immunization which will be serving as a ready reckoner so that medical officers or any paramedical staff, whenever they get doubt or whenever they are in doubt of delivering something, they can go through this manual which will be functioning as immediate information source for them. And this is how the systems of recording of vitamin A is being done. And they should also have a manual of AEFI, operational guidelines, which will be serving as immediate information source whenever they have some AEFI events in their institution. They should also have a format, sample formats of monitoring formats and HIMS formats, due list format, guidelines of open file policy, guidelines for preventive maintenance, and AEFI reporting investigation formats. All these things should be available here in a set like this, which will be serving as information source. This is a session monitoring format, and this is the PLC block level monitoring format, and this is the due list format. All these formats are being made into a booklet, and this should be made available for immediate information or reference. This is the Indian form for vaccines. This is our standard operating procedures for AEFI. Stock register for vaccines and other supplies, that is for logistics, and this is in local language, a manual for the frontline workers which is given in Telugu, so that they will be able to refer this manual whenever they are in doubt or they are requiring any information. This is our field service register where the information has to be maintained. This is the child immunization register. All these registers and reporting system and informative system have been put here so that it will be a source of information and for ready record.
One,